enough, or is that going to be an issue? I think that's going to work. I think it's going to work. Now I have to put this on, and I had to really, really brighten my tablet because, as you all know, when you do a live stream, it's very difficult to get, you're not going to get HD quality. I hope that is fixed later on. Now, I'm going to post, this is not a million viewer stream video. This is creative writing. Okay. This is basically the story that I've told in 7 parts, but I'm going to just read it from beginning to end, no stopping, no nothing. Okay. But I'm going to present the second story, Zoo Chispa in the Zodiac Monster, tonight. Just the way I presented the first story, in different segments. So 2-minute, 3-minute segments. But before I do, I want to do this. I meant to do this, but it's been cold all winter. So we are going to look at these characters. This is what they look like. There's Rosemary. To her right is Elsa Marquez. There is Shannon Choi. There is Marion Spencer and Olivia Daniels. These are all the 5 girls. So let's go ahead and start this. So this is not going to be super fun, but this is going to be fun enough where I'm going to just tell you the story that I've told last year. I started on the Queen of Spades or the Sonny's Bonds and the Queen of Spades. I started Queen of Spades in the fall, I think around July, August, and I stopped around just before the new year. So this is the whole story, and it's slightly different in some ways from the comic. So there's no sound effects, no fancy art, nothing. But I am going to tell you the story now, and I'm happy to have written this. I've created all these fictional characters for 20 plus years. I feel like I know them like real people. And I put love and heart and my soul into this, okay? And even though it's just a one-off story, and these are all, I'm making a bunch of one-off stories, and they'll all lead to something important later on. But for right now, this is what I have for you. And if you get a chance, really take the time to watch this. If you don't like it, then you can always go back to the comic, the motion comic. So here we go. Page 1. Earth 780 years after the death of Moses. So this is a parallel universe. It's not our universe. It's a parallel Earth. Hawaii Shimatachi. So it's basically the Hawaiian Islands I'll do some captioning, like I'll stop and talk about these things. Hawaii Shimatachi. Joe Perez, on his drive home from work, he struggles with his Dodge Omni, swerving, turning, twisting, and ends up crashing into a tree at a miniature golf course. Now, the car actually, it looks very different from what I describe here, because the Dodge Omni is obviously very different from the from what I finally drew. Joe gets out and stares at the damage. He is puzzled but upset. Page 2, going back to the apartment. Walking up to the second floor apartment. Joe enters the bedroom of he and Ella. Ella is half asleep in bed. Is that you, Pappy? Ella says. Joe takes off his shoes and at the edge of the bed. Joe says, yeah, just came off my 8 hours. Was all right. Oh, the bail bonds people called. You need to call them back by tomorrow. Right, I know I've been putting that off. Think it's a woman? Okay, I'll take care of it. Joe is still sitting at the edge of the bed, upset, thinking, my car got wrecked? Ella doesn't move from her bed, from her sleep, but responds, oh, God, I hope you're okay. Who hit you? Nobody did, just malfunction. Oh, now, okay, hold on. We'll get to the next page and I'll tell you my captioning on this, my commentary. A pause. Joe, Says, you did have a check for smog for and oil last week, right? Ella says, of course. A longer pause. I am so lucky to have you in me. What do without you? You know what I mean? So Ella Esposito and Joe Perez, they're based on Dahlia Dippolito and Mike. So Dahlia Dippolito was the one who tried to kill her husband. There was a whole episode of Cops about it, and yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty cool that she went to jail, but it was not cool for the husband. That guy must have really had problems. Anyway, page 3. 2 days later, Rose Marie says, I do know what you mean, motherfucker. You got to be down for your shit when you say you commit. Is my refried chorizo bean pizza ready yet? Adolfo says, almost. Then the cheese, then the tomato cubes, then the bell peppers and avocado cubes after bake. Rosemary points, but that's ready for me, right? Adolfo says, yeah, hot sweet potato malt with cream. Adolfo passes the hot drink to Rose. She takes it. Rosemary says, gracias, jefe. Hold up, my motherfucking phone be going off again. Rose answers, moshi moshi. What? Really? Jesus shit. He doesn't seem like the brightest bulb to remember his court date, but I had hoped, fuckerific. You talked to his boss at the builder's block? His lunch break? All right, I'll catch that poor fucker at his workplace then. All right then, to the fuckaloo. It's not completely clear. I mean, on the cover of the comic, she appears to be an officer, but it's not spelled out here that she's a bounty hunter and her job is to stop people whose bond's been revoked, who missed their court dates, etc. Page 4, outside the Haopaku. The Haopaku. So I think I was coming up with the Japanese or the Hawaiian word for restaurant, and then paku is Japanese mimetic, meaning paku paku, eating. I think that's how they came up with Pac-Man, the paku. So I called it the Haopaku. Rosemary goes to her 3-wheel hybrid vehicle. The vehicle and the diner are by the beachside. She's about to start up her vehicle when she sees Joey Perez approaching her. She is wide-eyed and surprised. Though he tries to be mature and professional, Joey slumps to his knees and breaks down in tears. Rosemary goes to comfort him. Page 5. In the back seat of Rose's Tri-Moto. That's what I call it. Rose fastens Joey's handcuffs behind his back. Joe says, do you have to cuff me? I gave myself up. Rosemary says, you know I still have to do my job and my team isn't exactly here. Is that too tight? No, it's all good. All right. Rose adjusts and sits back down next to Joe. Rosemary says, so tell me what in fucktown is going on. She's going to kill me. She's tried to kill me. The reckless driving incident I did last month. Yeah, so let me guess. If I get this buttfucker right, your turbo Corvette was making turns, zigzagging all over the Shrine of the Dead boardwalk? Yeah, so the only victim was an old lady's chihuahua. Right, damn it. Your brawny cock and ball should be lucky it wasn't the old lady or a fucking child. I'm sorry. No, bitchy bitch, it's not me you got to apologize to, but the victims whose property you damaged and the judge. A pause. Part of me thought, because I know I'm really innocent, even though I was driving, that if I could prove it was sabotage, they'd let me go home. And then you'd have to deal with her. Then, last night, my car crashed a tree. Lucky me. Yeah, I saw the report. Obviously, you're a repeat offender in vehicular manslaughter and reckless driving. What? Yeah, fucker. How the fucker else are we going to keep an eye on you and stop your wife? So, it's pretty obvious that they're going to set up something. She's trying to put him in a position where he has to go to jail, and there's this whole in past versions of Rosemary, she's the protagonist or the central character. In this one, she is the soft antagonist, meaning that she's the antagonist, not in the evil sense of I'm going to do evil and the good guy fights the bad guy. She's the antagonist in that she is the puppeteer. She's pulling all the strings, and Ella is in the center of that, and Joe is kind of behind the scenes with her, with Rose. So now we're on to page 6. Outside Capio Apartments. Capio is the Hawaiian word for to capture, to be arrested, to be caught. Um, so that's Kapu Apartments. Ella brings home hair and facial treatments and some personal groceries. Marion, there's this girl, Marion. Hi, sorry. Marion almost walks over Ella Despacito on her way upstairs to floor two. Ella says, "Oh, it's okay." Now Ella has a lisp. That's why she talks funny, much like Dolly, because Dahlia Dippolito had a lisp. Um, Marion starts up the stairs but turns to ask, "Hey, I'm new here. Do you know the best hours I can use the laundry room?" Ella says, yeah, I think Monday and Thursday afternoon. Just remember to sign in up to 2 hours." Okay, thanks. I definitely need to wash this new shirt. Ella notices what's on Marion's shirt. Oh, is that Zoo Chispa? Second story plugin. Yeah, I just heard about them. They started playing. Oh, me too. They started playing here on the islands, so I looked them up. Oh, that is so cool. I have their limited edition album, Scales of the Dragon. Me too. I'm not sure if they're on tour here this weekend. No, I think they stopped in Cali, Mexico, which is sort of the alternate universe of California. They stopped there and then first, and then here. I just hope I have enough tickets. Oh, my cousin works in theme parks. I can ask him to get you a discount. Yeah, if you can. Sure. Do you want me to reach him for you? Well, my only other request is if you can help me with the other laundry basket by my car. Oh, sure, I'll help you with that. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I remembered all the dialogue for this, but it was kind of funny for me to really set this whole thing up because they had Mary and Rosemary and the others had to have known about Ella way ahead of time to bump quote unquote bump into her to set the whole thing up. This was like Cops, but more elaborate. So later in Ella's apartment, Ella's pointing up. Oh, sorry, don't mind my security cameras. My hubby asked to have them installed just because our street had a string of home invasions last year. Oh, it was Marion says, wow, I got to ask to get them too. Ella's like, well, the landlord will charge extra. Ella goes through her personal belongings while plugging in her phone. Ella says, okay, I got to call my cousin on my landline while this phone charges. Way back up, way back up. Should have turned it off when I had the chance. It's okay. Be right back. Ellen looks around Ella's living room while she waits, and at her cameras. Now, the cameras are important later on. Marion checks her wristwatch. I have to go soon. She tells Ella when she returns, but before Ella can reply, hey, do you and your husband have life insurance? No, not really. Why? Oh, nothing. Just because my fiance recently had a bout with stage 4 cancer. Oh, no. Sorry to hear that. No, that's cool, but it got me thinking that if something bad were to happen to him again. No, yeah, it would be an awful shame. I was talking to a friend of mine. She knows a gal who works with the life insurance agency. Oh, really? Yeah, Olivia does part-time, but she can help you with get you big money fast. But, well, never mind. Forget what I said. It's stupid. No, it's okay. No, no. Well, I don't know. You can tell me. What were you going to say? Her methods of getting you that fast cash will be highly irregular, a little unorthodox. So now we go from one girl to the next girl. 2 days later, at a drive-through at Roth McGoth. So I'm setting up these sort of other character elements like Zoo Chispa and Roth McGoth. A part-time drive-through window lady takes Ella's order as she drives in her two-door sports car. Olivia Daniels. So Olivia says, okay, your total comes out to $8.70. Ella says, okay, gives Olivia the money. Hey, you're Olivia, right? She points to herself. Last time I checked. Right. Marion sent me, said you could help me with insurance. There was a long stare/pause between the two of them. And then, later at an outside dining table. Now, I didn't think about the roller coaster into the ball pit. That came like just as I was drawing it out. So Olivia says, oh, so yeah, I do know a life insurance agent. Here's her card. Her name is Shannon Choi. Ella takes the business card from Olivia. And I know a guy who does commission type duties to help secure your money should you need it. Really? He will help secure the welfare of your husband and keep his status confidential. How so? So you get in touch with Shannon, and she'll give you all the details. So now we go from one girl to the next girl to the next girl. It's like a domino. It's like a Rube Goldberg, puzzle here. Shannon Choi, right? Miss Mrs. Perez, please step in. It is the next day. Ella visits the life insurance agent at her offices, a couple miles away from home. Ella sits down across from Shannon's desk. Shannon says, "Olivia told me about you, that you want to switch over to a more reliable life insurance." Ella says, "Yeah, see, we had SEPTA Octo Century for the last 5 years, and they've done good coverage, but I need better in the event something terrible should happen to one of us." "Do you have next of kin or your husband?" "Yeah, no, God forbid if we both go all at once, but I have a younger sister and Joey has two brothers." Shannon reviews the paperwork before handing over to Ella. "Here, fill out state and fed form 2808 and then read and sign our agency's agreement form." And then Ella looks over the forms carefully, then asks, "Olivia said you can get in touch with a contractor who can help with my husband's affairs." "Well, let's do the forms first, and then we can set up that meeting as early as next week. Let's chase our dreams one problem at a time." Now, I was going to have Ella meet Elsa, or actually, I was going to just have Ella meet three girls. But the problem is, there are five girls total in Sunny's Bonds, the bail bondswomen. Okay, so it occurred to me that I had nothing for poor Elsa the dog, the puppy, the girl with the dog outfit. Where is she? Where is she at? Okay, so that's her here. Um, she had nothing to do. So what I had to figure out was, okay, I got to give Elsa something to do. So what I decided to do was to go from the undercover sting operation scenes to a typical bounty hunter catching somebody scene. Now, the way I characterize Rosemary is no different than Dog the Bounty Hunter, except, save for the right wing, extreme right wing points of views. Uh, there's compassion and there's gentle, along with being the bad cop and having to kick down the doors and capture the bad guys or capture people to go to court or because their bond was revoked or whatever. So anyway, let's go ahead to the next one. Page 10. A young woman runs through the aisles of a swap meet. Elsa Marquez is fast on her tail, chasing her in her dog-themed uniform. Elsa says, "Fiona, stop." Fiona, the suspect, runs further away into a small jungle preserve. But Rosemary, on her electric rollerblades, approaches the preserve from a different angle. Page 11. Confident that she lost Elsa in the jungle, Fiona quickly discards her hypodermic needle. Now, this is more of a different... in the comic strip, there's a swap meet, and then there's a bamboo jungle. So I have a bamboo forest. And the whole hypodermic needle thing, I just didn't put it in there. I focused more on just the fact that Fiona's running away. But Rosemary jumps out in front of her. "Boogity boo, biatch." Fiona says, "Huh?" And then Fiona turns to run again, but Elsa knocks her out with a boxing glove. Fiona trips and falls over. Fiona is arrested as Rosemary and Elsa escort her to the patrol car. Fiona says, "What the hell? I was just passing by. Do you just attack innocent? Fuck that art of bullshit though right up your cunt. We got your drug paraphernalia. When you skip out on your parole officer, the bounty hunters will take you down always." So, in the comic book form, I already have that kind of spelled out. We don't have to show everything. Rosemary's phone rings. "Here we go again. Moshi Moshi." "Yeah, okay, they're meeting up? Right, so I will need to talk to him before or after the visit." "Well, we can't meet yet." "Okay, tomorrow it is then, late." Now, in my original outline, originally Rosemary was going to be part of the operation to meet up with Ella and be like the mechanic to help jury rig the car or rig the car. But I kind of, as I thought about it, I wanted to keep the story simple. So it was originally planned that Rosemary and Ella, the wife that wants to kill her husband, to meet up and she's undercover. Or at the very least, they meet up at the prison where Joey's being held. But I decided that instead of doing it that way, that they would meet up at the very end, when she thinks that she killed her husband, that there was a love triangle that doesn't exist. So that's what I decided on, and it made more sense that way. So um, yeah, so they never meet up. Also, too, this is a little detail. Rosemary's Algerian. Algerian meaning she's part of a race of people with the skin condition Algeria. Meaning if you take in silver in anything, if you consume silver, however, your skin turns blue or gray. So she has a condition. So I think because she kind of stands out a little bit, I don't think it would have worked too well anyway as an undercover thing. Okay, let's move on to page 12. At the Gabbard Correctional, this is named after Tulsi Gabbard. At the Gabbard Correctional Facility the next day, Ella walks into the visitor center to see her husband. Ella, so this is the one time these two talk to each other, really. I mean, the first time was when she was asleep, half awake, half asleep, but they're always separated by a border here. Ella says, "Sweets, oh, are you doing okay?" Joe says, "Oh, hey, Babu." Ella sits down to pick up the phone. I wasn't sure if I was going to hear from you. "Oh, Sweetums, don't think that way. You know I'd do anything for you." "Yeah, okay. So, do you have any idea when they release you?" "Should be by this weekend. I talked to the judge the night before." "Oh, good. You fixed my car and sent it out to get my mail at the post office and all that?" "Yes, of course I did. You can always count on me. We're a team." "All right, all right. Oh, what about my lottery ticket for this Po Aono?" Now, Po Aono is Saturday in Hawaiian. Ella says, "Haha, yes, the weekend's ticket is all ready for you." "Okay. I want you out of here as soon as possible, mister. When we win that lotto, I want you to spoil me. I want to be carried away on a bed of grapes and roses on a golden lift like Cleopatra on the backs of 4 strong men." Joe gives her a look. "Or women." Joe smiles. "It doesn't matter." Now, this is, I thought of the last panel or two the last couple of pages when I was thinking of this. Of course, it was always a callback. They do this in movies all the time. Joe's asking, "Have you called your mom yet?" "No." "Remember to. I haven't seen her since last year. If spending time in this dump has taught me anything, it's to spend your time wisely." Ella says, "Okay, I'll try to remember that." Page 13, 2 weeks pass. Back in Joe and Ella's apartment, Rosemary and Joe walk into the living room. So most of the undercover stuff is pretty much done, except there's always another twist and turn that I had to create. Rosemary's like, "You made it. You graduated with highest honors. Almost, I think. Marie has your wife at a Gracetron, uh, another universe character I'm setting up. I'm setting up all these things: the Gracetron, the Zoo Chispa, the Roth McGoth, all in this one story. Without really, you kind of wonder about it, but I never want you to really ask too many questions about this right now. Gracetron blasting magnet balls at moving targets and drinking malt liquor. So Gracetron is kind of like a Dave and Buster's, but more virtual reality, augmented reality, video game stuff there. Joe says, "Shit, 2 weeks in the slammer made me hungry." Rosemary says, "Well, it's a good thing we ate, so I can show you something." "Oh, cool. We're gonna set up an affair, make her jealous." Joe wraps his arms around Rose in an embrace, but Rose slaps him. "No, you fucknut. I have a video. Look, listen." So always making sure that, yeah, Joe has a thing for Rosemary, but Rosemary's not having that because she tries to keep it professional, and Joe's being a clown. But Rosemary's like, "No, fuck you. We ain't doing that." I really like the characterization of Rosemary. I really wanted her to be, yeah, she swears a lot, but she's very empowered. She's very strong. She's very capable. She's not a damsel. She's not Captain Marvel. She's not overcompensating herself. She's really like, I just adore this character. Anyway, page 14. Joe looks hard at a video file on Rosemary's phone. "What? This is it. You did it. You got everything." "Nope, not everything." Joe turns to face Rosemary. "Huh? I'm sorry." Rosemary has a Colt firearm fixed on Joe. "No, wait." Badoom. Now, this was a twist and turn that I had focused on, was that I wanted, yeah, we had the deception on the wife, but now we have a deception on the husband, which doesn't last too long because the husband does figure out what's going on because obviously she doesn't kill him. So it's like, oh, what just happened here? So they're still trying to trick the wife, but I'm still trying to trick you, the reader, into thinking something has happened here. Page 15, hours later. Police and ambulance arrive at a crime scene at Joe and Ella's apartment. Marion drives Ella back to her home. Ella watches the police cars pull in. Oh my God. She opens the passenger door and runs out without saying goodbye. Marion says, wait, Ella, what's going on? What's happening? Ella doesn't reply as she runs to the nearest police officer. Officer Glass. Ma'am, Ellen, what's going? This is a crime scene. I live here. Okay, which apartment number? My husband. Where's my husband, ma'am? Ella's voice turns tense. Her heart rate, heart rate, that's good English. Her heart rate and pulse begin to quicken. 2F, apartment 2F. Okay, ma'am, listen. My husband, Joe Perez? Yes, sir, I have ID. Ma'am, I'm sorry to tell you. This is where we get to the sort of the adaptation of the Cops episode. Ma'am, I'm sorry to tell you. Paramedics roll out a covered body on a gurney. Ella is wide-eyed in shock. Now, unlike Cops, we do show a body here. Ella says, no. Officer Glass looks at the paramedic. Medic, could you show her? The paramedic reveals the body of Ella's husband. Gasp. Page 16. Ella touches the body of her husband. So, not only like it. So on the episode of Cops where there was a real life plotting against her husband, and the setup was real, even though there was no murder. Dahlia Dippolito never saw her husband Mike's body because obviously Mike was not dead. Here, I don't explain it, but I would say that Joe Perez is asleep, and his heart rate. There's a way to do it. Where you can slow your heartbeat down to where people think you're dead. Slowing your heartbeat down, not breathing, having a cold body, just all these different things where just you appear to be dead. So there's different ways, and that's kind of what is happening here. I don't explain it definitely. I just leave it ambiguous. It's cold. He's cold. He's not breathing. Ma'am, you can't touch the body. Step back, step back. Ella, wide-eyed with pause, stares at the officer. Who did this, ma'am? Who? Mrs. Perez. Detectives reviewed the cassette tapes in the surveillance. I'm using 80s technology here, but it's hard. This is an alternate universe where we have 1980s pop culture and technology. So I'm trying to work with that here as I'm building this universe, this final incarnation here. Anyway, Mrs. Perez, detectives reviewed the cassette tapes in the surveillance cameras in your apartment. Did you suspect or Joe admit to having an extramarital affair? No. Officer Glass presents a video on a portable television. So I was thinking of this little portable slideshow presenter where you just shine a light through it and you can see a slide on a view screen. Okay, so earlier tonight, the camera in your living room recorded a conversation between the two, a playful embrace, something a couple might do, and then this woman pulls out a firearm and Ella watches the footage with horror and disgust before looking away. I'm sorry, I have to ask, have you met this woman or know of her? No, she's not familiar. I never. Ella, turning away from the officer, looks in the direction of Rose Marie in handcuffs and into custody. Ella screams out. Oh, Ella just says, you, who are you? Why did you do this, you piece of shit? Answer me. Were you cheating? Ma'am, step back. Let's go. Let's go down to the station so we can get your statement and legal counsel. Come on. So this kind of worked better than the original outline I had. 1 hour later at the Pale Kaua police station. I'm not sure what that Pale Kaua. I put a lot of Hawaiian words in here, but it's all Hawaiian influence. At the police station, Officer Glass and Ella Perez sit in an interrogation room. The officer says, okay, for the record, your name is Ella Esposito Perez. Officer Sherman Glass reviews prosecution paperwork for Ella as they sit by a table. Yes. Did you have any indication your husband had an extramarital affair. Moreover, any questionable people, enemies who spoke with your husband. Ella says, no, the only people he visits are his cousins, his drinking buddies at the pub blaster, and his mechanic. It's like another, like Gracetron, but different. And his mechanic once every 2 months. Glass asks, you never saw any indication this woman was at your apartment, some article of clothing, or no, I just wanted to go to jail for a long time. Well, before we do anything else, you look like you're in shock. So do me a favor, go to the ladies' room and wash up so we can continue. All right. Page 18. Ella leaves the room to head into the ladies' room. As soon as she opens the door, she finds familiar faces. Marion Spencer, Olivia Daniels, and Shannon Choi await her inside in uniform along with Elsa Marquez. So now we go. Everybody's gathered up here. What is Marion, Shannon, Olivia? What is all this? You tell me, Wahini, Rosemary says. Ella turns to see Rosemary and her husband Joey at the doorway. Joey? Joe looks at Ella once and then walks away. Joe, wait, come here. Ella tries to get to Joe, but Rose's body blocks her. Who the fuck? Stay right where the fuck you are, you motherfucking cunt. Let's watch some TV. This look familiar to you? Ella watches another video, but on Rose's portable television. Ella is in a car in the driver's seat talking to someone in the passenger seat. Lionel Castle. Could be an undercover name, could be his real name. I never really say. Shannon said you needed to arrange your husband's paperwork. See, his great-grandfather was the owner of Bamboo Motorboats. And so what? He saved up all his profits? Rubies, sapphires, emeralds, turquoise, gold, and all his accounts once he turned it over to a corporation. Now he owns it. In his testament, once Joe has been married for more than 1 year, then he can inherit. Oh, okay. Then you and he will be well off. See, I would rather be all me. I see. I don't feel the way I do anymore. He's not attractive. He doesn't do what I want, and I can't wait to stay married. And I spoke with attorneys before. The whole thing is just idiotic. If he should disappear, how though? How do you want to do that? Quickly and painlessly. I don't want anyone to see his body. All right, let's go over the details before discussing payment. So I figured at this point we're gonna wrap this one up. So as I was writing this out, page 20. Rosemary puts away her TV in front of a stunned Ella. My name is Rosa Maria Solara, and we are licensed bounty hunters. And the man you spoke to was an undercover officer. Ella doesn't say anything. So you're going to jail now. You can do this one of two ways. Either we walk you out or we haul you out. You get to choose, you lying bitch. And so they attack. Ella runs to attack Marion, but Elsa, Olivia, and Shannon dogpile her. Ella is down. Shannon pins her down. Elsa punches her. Olivia and Marion kick her. This is back and forth here. Page 21. Rosemary leads the 4 bounty hunters as they haul Ella away, bound and gagged. Flashing back, when we win that lotto, I want you to spoil me. I want to be carried away on a bed of grapes and roses on a golden lift like Cleopatra on the backs of 4 strong men or women. And then I added it doesn't matter in the final presentation. 1 week later, Rosemary, Elsa, Shannon, Olivia, Marion, and Joe meet at a train station. Rosemary says, you have a safe trip. The apartment money we put up for you should be more than enough. Olivia says, the place should hold you over until after your testimony at the trial. Shannon says, Ella's mechanic, the one who rigged your car, was all too happy to cooperate with detectives. Marion says, especially since his boss knew your mechanic and was going to toss him on his fat candy bar ass. And there's a little bit of character interaction here, just to show you what they're like. Elsa says, by the way, Shannon, did you fetch my Bolt chocolate? I'm not sure if I called it Bolt chocolate. I think I did. I think I ended up calling it that. Shannon says, here, it's melted. So have a sparkling chocolate shake. Rose shakes her head, then turns to face Joe. Second best news, the prosecutor who got word of your little marriage problem is going to drop his class action suit against you for vehicular manslaughter and go after Ella instead. Joe says, that is her relief. Before I did any of this, when I realized Ella wanted me dead and I broke down, I just thought all women were evil. Then I saw you and your girls, and I knew my faith was 5% restored. Just 5%? Yeah, well, you're not getting a kiss from me. Of course. she could tell he's into her, but I never really play it too far. Joe says, "Yeah, I know, but a hug will do." Rosemary says, "Really? Because you shot me? You have to promise me no more shooting blanks, at least without warning. Those hurt like hell. She says, "Fine, I'll riddle you with rubber next time." Joe says, "Really? A condom?" A condom joke. And Rosemary just says, "Just shut the fuck up." And that's it. And then they embrace. I didn't say that in here, but they do embrace. It's just, this was a nice little story. This was probably, I've been writing these comic strips and characters since 2000, 1997, 2000, all the way to now. I'm very happy I got to do this. This is just to show you in long form what the story feels like. Obviously, if you want to see the final presentations, you can look at the playlist. It's in my page. You just have to go through the playlists and look through my profile. You'll find it. That was the Queen of Spades, and that was Sonny's Bonds, and I'll be back soon. That was something to me.